He's just done something now that I can't look past or forget. The letter that was posted 4 years ago was not written 4 years ago. It was written like 2 months after John and I got together. He and I had a long-standing friendship before our relationship began, so he knew all about the ex-boyfriend and how everything went down. A year into our relationship, I found the letter when we were clearing out old stuff out of my apartment, and we had a good chuckle about it. He encouraged me to post it on the Unsent Letters subreddit as a final farewell to the letter, that chapter of my life, and to show that I was free of it and doing so much better. Those of you who are hung up on it are free to speculate how that makes me an awful person or whatever it is you believe, but I am secure in the truth of it and what went on. I never expected for people to latch onto something from 4 years ago and somehow use it to justify their harsh opinion of me and their presumed narrative, but hey, it's the internet. That's what people do. I should have known. Anyway, aside from that, I appreciate you all for taking the time to listen, offer your words whether they be kind or not, and for simply letting me feel heard. I wish every single one of you success and good tidings. Downvoted commenter. YTA, honestly sounds like John dodged a bullet. Yes, he made a joke at your expense and should apologize and never say that again. But if this is your level of foot out the door when something gets tough, then your marriage would have been a failure anyway. Marriage is hard. It's harder when someone has their foot out the door for any slight that happens. I never had my foot out of the door. I was all in with John. I gave him the opportunity to apologize over the course of this, and he never did. He continued to act like I was overreacting to a joke. This wasn't when marriage gets tough. The when marriage gets tough moments in our relationship were when he lost his job and I solely provided for our relationship for 4 months, or when we had to be long distance because I had to travel for work for most of a year, or when I was so depressed after the death of a close friend that I never left the house. Those were the tough times, and the both of us were there for each other. Not once did either of us make each other feel bad about any of it. I didn't mock his insecurities to my friends. When he lost his job, he was so convinced he was a failure and a poor excuse of a man. I never did or said anything to reinforce that line of thinking because it wasn't true. I don't need to explain my choice to you, but there was no writing on the wall before this. John taking the biggest insecurity I have and making a joke about it to his friends was a direct contradiction to everything he'd ever said to me about it. Instead of saying an actually funny joke, he decided to strike my most vulnerable point as a joke. And he doubled down on that point instead of apologizing genuinely. I have the self-respect and dignity to know that I don't want to be with someone who can just mock their partner's insecurities to others and then have the audacity to tell their partner how they should feel. I won't respond to anything you say if you reply to this, but funnily enough, I know you aren't him, but you've said a lot of the same sentiments John did.